Dave Michaels.
MZ.
I forgot how to be on the radio in this manner.
Oh.
We're remote. We're live remote from downtown Santa Cruz at the newly grand opening today, Ace Hardware store at the corner of Front Street and Laurel Street. And there's a brand new downtown Santa Cruz for us to find out all about today. We have a lot of appropriate guests, but what about the Dave Cave? Because there are a lot of people, I'm sure, who are going to want to know about that.
Oh, I'm out here.
Dave Cave is as standard as usual, even though we're doing a different kind of Saturday special today, yeah?
Correct, yes. The Dave Cave, as always, is open Saturday from 10 to 2, which is today, unless you're listening to a replay. Every Saturday, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., the Dave Cave is the place to swoop up a great deal.
Okay. My favorite expression of yours is deals that will make you squeal.
Right, that's it. For deals that'll make you squeal, stop by the Dave Cave Saturday between 10 and 2 p.m.
Great. Well, just to prove this is the Saturday special, will you hit the button that will prove it's the Saturday special?
Sure. Ready?
Yeah.
Good morning. A brighter day is here. Good morning. May we bring you cheer.
We've got time, we've got tunes, we've got time, tunes, and temperature.
Get up and go, it's today, you know, on KSCO Radio.
Good morning, all you folks out in Radio Land. MZ here welcoming you to hour number one of a special KSCO special, because we're live from downtown Santa Cruz, where we invite you to join us for a celebration. And the weather is just perfect. It's not too hot, and it's not too dry. It's just perfect. So plan to come on down during the day today.
Good morning. Now stay right here on KSCO Radio.
There we go. This is a special fanfare music. One of two openings that we use for the Saturday special. Let it run, Dave. Let it run. It's so nice. Huh? Oh. Yeah, that one. Good. All right. See, doesn't that make you feel like something amazing is going to happen? It is. How often do you hear the mayor of Santa Cruz on the Saturday special? I can't remember the last time. We've been doing this like 30 plus years. It is an honor and a privilege for me to welcome Santa Cruz Mayor Donna Meyers, and we get a twofer today.
You get a twofer.
Yeah.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, Shebreh Kalantari Johnson. Did I screw that up?
You got it just right.
Okay, cool. So listen, there's a whole new downtown Santa Cruz. And this isn't because of the earthquake, because that happened like 32 years ago. And, why do we have a new downtown Santa Cruz? I'm not complaining. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying why. I mean, it sounds like a great idea. How did this happen?
Well, actually, before our time on the city council, there was a couple of local folks who had invested in these properties long ago, and they began to bring forward some development proposals. So where the old Taco Bell is, all the way down to where the old Tampico is, we've got 200 units of housing going in there. So right across the street from Zachary's restaurant, so they'll be able to eat at Zachary's every morning. And then just beyond that, at the bus station, we've gotten about 100, little over 100 units of very affordable housing, very low income housing that will go in. So that's the kinds of things that we're trying to achieve, is for people who are working in the service industry and other places that don't pay the high salaries. They can live here downtown And we're also hoping to put in a new medical clinic and a new dental clinic down here as well.
How long has this project been in the works?
I believe the two housing projects have been in the works for almost at least 15 years between the two of them. So this is not rapid development that's going to be, flying into downtown. These are developments that take a long time to get through the community process.
And that's what sort of Santa Cruz is famous for. I mean, going all the way back to 1978 when there was Measure O in the city for growth management. And measure, what was it called for the county?
It's called Measure
J. Measure J.
Yeah.
Okay. And way back then, I'm a native Santa Cruzan, and way back then I voted for both of those measures. Well, I guess I could only vote for one. I guess I was a city resident, so I voted for Measure O. Who wants Santa Cruz to turn into a San Jose, or a place like, that, instead of the wonderful place that it is? And yet, since then, a lot of people have argued that artificially controlling the supply of things, like vital things, and particularly like housing units, when you can't figure out how to similarly control the demand, is a recipe for guaranteed rising housing costs and rents. Okay? And so as a result of measures J and O, which basically had the electorate direct the people in charge, the Board of Supervisors for the county and the city council with respect to the city of Santa Cruz, they were just directed to come up with a plan to control growth and make it not exceed more than, I think it was 2%, which was the state per year at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And what people came up with was about all they could come up with, and that's limit the number of building permits, limit the number of subdivisions, limit the number of minor land divisions. And as a result of that, both Santa Cruz City and County became very well known for it being very difficult to get anything accomplished. Now, you've demonstrated that that's still the case. I mean, 40 years later, it's a wonderful thing that's happening. I mean, I'm not someone who wants to see my hometown be paved over like Silicon Valley any more than anybody else. But I think development needs to be allowed and not quashed. And hearing what I've just heard today, and I'm sorry I should have known all this before because it's still my town, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled, and I'm really thrilled that something is happening, and it's something of this magnitude because it's needed. Yeah, and most of that real estate was the old Haber's furniture building, that's where you bought your furniture in Santa Cruz in the 40s and 50s, before there were any others. And Tampico Kitchen restaurant was where I and my buddies from Santa Cruz High School would cut classes and eat the best tacos, and I miss those tacos.
Yep.
Now, is the Tampico, you might know this, there's another Tampico out on SoCal on Main Street. Is that the same? Is that the same Tampico?
I don't know if it's the same family or not.
Right. Okay.
But that one's still there. Yeah.
So anyhow, this happened so fast, but not really so fast, because as you said, it took 15 years to get it to happen. So, but it's happening now, and I think pretty soon. When's it going to come online? When do you expect these housing units, which are desperately needed in Santa Cruz, to be here?
Next year or two?
Yeah, I think it's probably in the next, maybe 2 years by the time they move in.
Yeah, I think we're about 2 years away.
And the affordable housing that goes next door, along with the redesigned bus station, that'll probably be about 4 years out. But that'll be about 120 units.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. And these are really important projects. not only because it provides much needed housing, but it will shape the culture of our community for years moving forward. It'll help us keep a diverse community, demographic diversity, income diversity. So it has long-term implications in terms of how we will live in Santa Cruz.
Now, they used to call a component of any housing project there was an inclusionary. Is that a word that's still in use? Or they call that for low-income housing part of it, right? So, and it used to be like 15% or something that the developer had to somehow provide that much of a percentage of the project to be low income. What does that mean? Obviously, that's happened here. A lot of people have low income around here, and how are you gonna decide who gets in and who doesn't?
Try to describe that.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, what the state now requires every city in California to build affordable housing. So it used to be called low income, now it's affordable housing, and it's really based on the level of your income. So the state hands out formulas, basically they say you must build these kinds of units, and there's a different number for each kind of category of income. If we don't meet those, then they don't give us any state grants to help build affordable housing and other things. So it's definitely a big stick if we don't do what we're supposed to be doing. And so they figure out these formulas based on people's income.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's the median income each year. They calculate that out.
And it's different for every county, obviously, right?
It's different for every city and because it's all based on your median income in your town. So they say from 30% below, 30% to, I think, 50%, 50 to 80, and then 80% and above. So they calculate out with the idea, to Councilmember Kalantari Johnson's point, we want to have a diverse group of people living together. We don't want we want these units to be mixed in with, market rate units and create a vibrant downtown. That's ultimately what you get by sort of building these more multi-use types of approaches. You mix everything together. You've got businesses, you've got living places, you've got, hopefully, like I said, medical or dental clinics, maybe some gyms, maybe another grocery store, so you get a vibrant neighborhood instead of saying, okay, we're going to build this kind of housing over here and this kind of housing here. So it really can change your urban area quite significantly.
And our behaviors change, which will impact all of the efforts that we're trying here locally around climate action response.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, what will the procedure be for people to apply for a low income? By the way, what will that low income be? Do you know, or will that change between now and when the units open? How do you?
It'll shift because it's based on the income, and usually the companies that are building the units, whether they are the owner moving ahead or they're providing it to another owner or an operator like a Mid-Peninsula type of housing or Eden housing, the formulas get put together, the units are made available, and then usually there's a waiting list. I mean, honestly, there's a waiting list for all of our affordable units.
Is there a number?
We've underproduced. We haven't met our numbers in
years.
And I've always said, and people, it's not real popular with some people, I've always said, build, baby, build. Because that's the only way to meet the demand and make it so that prices don't have to be so crazily high for rents and purchases.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How many stories is this going to be? Sorry if
I believe this one is 4 stories.
Okay, it's 4.
Across the street is 4 stories. Yeah, there might be a portion of it that might have like a corner. I think there's a corner part of it. One part of the building, maybe 5, just to have a little diversity and kind of, architecturally. But this project over here, where the old Taco Bell, I think is 4 stories. And then the 2 affordable projects by the bus station, those I believe are going to be 6 stories.
That sounds right.
So those will be taller.
So these will be, we already have a taller building, the Palomar.
Right.
And what is that, 10, 11 stories, something like that?
No, I think
it's 8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 8. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's still, and will continue to be the tallest building in downtown Santa Cruz, it sounds like, even after this project is built. Of course, that's on a relatively small parcel. So you're going to be able to house a lot more people than the Palomar currently does, or the redone St. George Hotel, redone since the earthquake in 1989. Well, people have been talking about that being a wonderful solution for the housing problem in downtown Santa Cruz for a long time. So it's great that it's happening finally.
And it really, I mean, you've got a bike path right here. You've got the ocean's a block and a half away. You've got the bus station. You'll have a brand new library. We've got, different businesses coming into downtown.
I want to get on
Warriors.
this list. I want to get on this list.
I mean, it's going to be a pretty cool place to live.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Bike and walk where you need to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
it's
amazing.
Good. It's good.
We're here in downtown Santa Cruz. I'm sorry? Oh, please. Yeah, Michael Olson is here, and he's got a great question to
Thank
ask.
you very much for allowing me to use the microphone, Michael. I'm in thinking about what you said earlier about how this is going to really change the nature of Santa Cruz, and thinking ahead, I can really see that. The town is going to be filled with people who live here. And I got to thinking, how will that impact the problems that we are facing right now that keep a lot of people from coming downtown? And I'm thinking of homelessness and drug addiction and things like that scare people away. And I just wonder that if we have a town filled with people who live here, will that make a difference?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And some of the challenges that you just spoke to, Michael, one of the reasons that we're faced with those challenges is because of lack of housing. A lot of our unhoused community members are community members that are from Santa Cruz, and very complex issue, but one of the challenges is that they're not able to get themselves into a pathway to housing. So the bigger vision with the county and the city is creating pathways to housing and helping these folks have stable living situations.
Yeah, and I think, oftentimes you start to build a downtown, or you build onto the edges of your downtown, and that makes your downtown just expand. And so I think you've got, you're going to have business interests in some of this redevelopment down here, and then of course you're going to have a lot of housing, and that's just going to bring that vibrancy. And I think downtown will feel different. It will feel different. I think there'll be more people, there'll be more activity, more business.
And it's already pretty darn vibrant, if you ask me.
Right. Yeah. So I think you'll see some of those changes, but at the same time, the city and the county are working together to actually provide facilities and transitional housing, permanent supportive housing for some of the individuals that, that do find themselves homeless here.
I was just thinking it's going to be a very fun place.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, that's great. We are coming to you here on the KSCO Saturday Special live from the newly opened grand opening today and tomorrow, actually, in downtown Santa Cruz, Ace Hardware building. And we have our little broadcast canopy here. And we invite everyone who's listening, and even some more, to come on down and experience the beginning of a brand new downtown Santa Cruz, starting with the Ace Hardware store, which we are speaking to you from. It's right on the corner of Front Street and Laurel Street in downtown Santa Cruz. And we have with us right now our two guests at the moment, Santa Cruz Mayor Donna Meyers and Santa Cruz City Council. Actually, you're both on the City Council. Shebreh Kalantari Johnson.
You got it.
I did it again, twice in a row.
That was good.
And if anybody, Dave, can we patch in phone calls if there are any, or can we invite them?
Yeah, we actually had a call, a gentleman who called. I think his name was Nick, but he's going to wait until you invite him.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure we have plenty of phone calls.
Okay, so yeah,
coming in.
phone numbers as always are 479-1080 phone number if you want to get on the air. If you want to participate, ask a question or make a comment via email, it's mz@ksco.com, and I have my digital device here so I can receive your emails. And if you have any questions or comment, please call or email. Okay, Shebreh, how long have you been a council person? Why did you decide to become one or even run?
Well, the why is easy. I love this community.
How long have you been here?
And I've been on the council since I was elected in November of 2020 and sworn in December.
Okay.
I've been in Santa Cruz since 95.
Wow.
And a 3-year break.
Almost
to
a
San
native.
Francisco, but
Almost.
Almost a native.
Yeah, that's
this
a
is more
long
my
time.
home than any other place.
Sure, 26 years. Gosh. So, and it was the first time you ran?
Yes, it is.
And, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. And it's still a 7-member city council?
Still a 7-member city council, and then the mayor rotates each year, so we don't, a different mayor each year.
That's elected by the city council, other members.
Yes, exactly.
Not the electorate.
Not the electorate, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So my term ends at the end in December. So yeah, so it's been a fun experience, even through all the COVID and everything else. It's been a good year to kind of try to get businesses back together and get the town sort of focused on the future and also be safe during COVID. So it's been an interesting year for me. A lot of learning.
Yeah. I guess it's the restaurant. Well, everybody suffered. Gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, but some more than others.
Yeah,
And
it's really, I think every business has been greatly affected, whether it, at the beginning with people, literally having to lay their staff off or try to keep them on and try to figure out how to do that, and all the paperwork about getting the loans from the government. It's just been nonstop. Business owners are exhausted. They just have been
now
so
more
much.
than ever, because now we're open again.
Right.
I hope for a while. Anyhow.
And that's why this is so exciting.
Yeah.
We've shown that our community downtown, the city of Santa Cruz, is resilient. We've shown that through the earthquake. We've shown that through the recession, and now we're showing it again here. This is like today. It's visible how resilient we are.
Yeah.
I never thought of it in those terms because, the 1989 earthquake put the downtown area literally in ruins. My own parents lost their 2 commercial buildings in that earthquake, and it took many, many years to rebuild and lots of money, obviously. But yeah, the COVID is like another earthquake, except that the buildings weren't destroyed, I guess, but a lot of other businesses, and there was a lot of, and of course now the most difficult thing facing everybody and every small business owner that I know of is getting workers to come back to work, because people got out of the habit of working, or not need, or I don't know. I guess there's still some people are still. We have 2 calls. Okay, great. So yeah, I understand we got a couple of callers right now. So let's put the first one on. Who would that be, Dave?
This is going to be Nick calling from Santa Cruz. You're in the air, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Hey there. Good morning, guys. I don't want to throw any water, cold water, hot water on the party there, because quite honestly, it is celebratory to invite new housing into Santa Cruz. But I moved here from Iowa 5 years ago, and we had some similar stuff going on in our city with affordable housing. They actually took some old warehouses and turned them into lofts and 1-bedrooms, and then they also built some new housing next to it. And this was all affordable housing, mixed units, mixed use. And it went okay for a while. The low-income housing portion, some of the tenants didn't take care of the property very well, and subsequently they closed it down. Well, after they closed it down, they went into all these little lofts that they used the taxpayer money to build, all the piping and the electricity and all the, the hardware, and they ripped it out and put granite countertops and recessed lighting, and now they're selling those for $300,000 and $400,000. So that affordable housing became just another expensive piece of property for the property owner, because their TIF, I don't know if you guys call it TIF here, but it's a tax increment financing, where it gives these people that, investors, tax increment and tax write-offs and tax breaks to build these affordable housing. So I guess my question is this going to be a bait and switch for Santa Cruz as well? Is there a time that this expires, or is this a permanent actual solution for affordable housing in Santa Cruz? Are they going to bait and switch us in 10 years and turn these into $1 million lofts? Or in 10 years, is this going to still be affordable housing for Santa Cruz?
It's a great question.
That's my question.
And Mayor Donna will answer it, and maybe you can sort of repeat parts of it. I know you can't stay here very long, but it'd be wonderful for Shebreh, who was not able to hear that because of our setup here.
So Nick, your question's great. So Nick was wondering about, when we say we're building affordable housing, how do we know that that actual affordable housing is going to be available long term in our community, and it's not going to get converted to, more expensive housing, going in and tearing down walls and, trying to redevelop it into more expensive housing over time, maybe as people can't stay in the area. And in Santa Cruz, when we do permit things that have an affordable component, that is actually written into the condition of approval for the project. So our projects actually usually have
like a deed restriction?
Yeah, it's like a deed restriction. So they have normally at minimum about a 30-year to 50-year lifespan. So when we do permit and there's an affordable part of a project, whether it's the entire project or a portion of it, we deed restrict that, and that's the way you can keep affordable housing in your community. And I think that's somewhat unique to California. And how California land use works. So I think he mentioned he was from Idaho or somewhere, but
Iowa,
I think that's a pretty unique thing here in California to do that, is to deed restrict properties for the long term.
Nick, are you still on the line? I guess
I
not.
sure am. I'm going to be driving
you are?
past you in about 2 seconds.
Okay, great. Let Shebreh answer now, because she understands your question here. So.
Yeah, I think Mayor Meyers really spoke to it, is that it is deed restricted. It's part of the permitting, and so we wouldn't be able to, as a city and as a community, to change those units. They would stay affordable.
Okay.
Nick, I hope you're feeling much better. Are you?
I truly am. I don't have the COVID anymore. No.
Alrighty.
It really. I really think that this is great. I mean, I'm all for this 100%. But as I said, back in Iowa, they did the bait and switch on us, so I'm just so leery. But when she made it specific and said that it's in the deed for a 30-year contract, you know what? 30 years changes a lot of things, and as long as there's affordable housing for 30 years, then I'm okay with that. But they bait and switched us in less than 10 back home. It was horrible.
Right.
And all they did was, they put the bones in, and, we paid for all that, and then they turn around and put granite countertops and all the fancy stuff, and that's not fair to the.
Thanks for bringing that up, and we're happy we discharged some of your concerns here. We got another caller, I think. Yeah, Dave.
Rory is calling from a cell phone.
Hey, Rory. Welcome to the Saturday special. You're on.
Yes, and good morning to your guests. And quick question, MZ, you mentioned that all businesses suffered through the COVID-19 debacle.
I don't think I said it that way. If I did, I didn't mean that. Some businesses got better than ever.
Yeah, Costco and all the big box boys did quite well indeed. So my question to the councilwomen is, what's going to be different this time if Governor whoever comes down with a lockdown order, which I think is faulty and wrong-headed. But what's going to happen? What's going to happen to Santa Cruz City and more largely Santa Cruz County businesses? Are all the smaller businesses going to have to suffer again and look at bankruptcy or just closing?
Yeah, I mean, I'll also have Shebreh comment on this. My understanding is that, the close, the orders that were issued when COVID first started were obviously very reactionary to really understanding how the disease was spread, and we know a lot more now. Also, we have a lot more people vaccinated, and so my understanding is that I don't talk to the governor directly, but everything that sounds like it's coming from the state as well as locally is no one anticipates any more lockdowns. There's going to be the occasional need to have people wear masks more inside, like what we're going to experience for the next couple of weeks. But those things are going to come and go, and the key is really to get out and get vaccinated. And as long as we've got people in the community that are vaccinated, we shouldn't be seeing those lockdowns. The reasons the lockdowns was because no one was vaccinated, and we had to keep people away from each other. So, that is not anticipated to come back in the state of California. So we should be pretty steady state from here.
Passport. What about vaccine passports to get into businesses? You guys going to mandate that, or will you resist
Vaccine
that?
passports to get into businesses.
Yeah, I'm apologizing, Rory. We don't have an earphone for the guests, so we have to sort of relay the questions to one of the two guests anyhow. So we'll be we're trying to fix that right now. But the question is vaccine. What is your question? I'll relay it directly.
Will the city council
be mandating vaccine passports?
Decisions around vaccine passports and masking come from the public health officer. So the city council will follow the guidance of the public health officer, who follows the guidance of what's happening throughout the state.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rory. Appreciate your call to the Saturday special. That opens up a line at 831-479-1080. And, wow, we are going to, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Folks,
Yeah,
for
sorry.
coming.
Got Saturday morning duties got to turn to.
We understand.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying as long as you did.
Absolutely.
We
Thank you for
appreciate
the
it. And so, and
thank you so
way
much.
Way to go for the new Santa Cruz.
Yeah, and thank you for celebrating the local business here, because that means a lot. So,
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good one, you guys.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Thanks so much.
Santa Cruz
Bye-bye.
Mayor Donna Meyers and Shebreh Kalantari Johnson, who is a city council person also. Now, we are going to hear from Jason Zarenda, who is the owner of 3 Ace. Did I say it wrong?
Zaremba.
Okay.
And Josh.
Zaremba, who's oh wow, it's like the that vitamin thing, that pain relief thing. It's the father and son type thing. You guys are about to become famous like that, at least locally. Jason, welcome to the Saturday Special, and Josh, welcome to the KSCO Saturday Special.
Thanks, guys, for
and
coming
Michael.
out.
MZ, you just gotta get Jason to tell the story of the birth story of this particular Ace Hardware.
I was going to ask, but you did a better job of asking. So this was a Walgreens drugstore until very recently.
That's correct. That is correct.
And what happened?
Yeah, the story, as Michael referred to, goes something like this. So a year ago, the CZU fire, we were evacuated from our home. And we went to the Safeway Felton parking lot and met up with a bunch of our friends. And we sat there that night watching the glow in the sky and smelling the smoke. And I was in negotiations with Walgreens at that time for this space to sublease it. And I called the broker up and I said, hey, is there any way I can just bring my RV and my friends down to the parking lot? Now, the broker happened to live in Ben Lomond at the time.
Oh.
And so she said, I might be joining you. And so here we are a year ago, and we were known as the Saturn Camp in this parking lot. And the community of Santa Cruz just came out here because here we had all our friends and family. And there's probably 6-7 RVs out here and a bunch of people in their cars with their animals and kids. And we made this little community out here for a couple of weeks in this parking lot. And we were known as the Saturn Camp. People came by, were giving us donations. We had folks come out and fill up our RV with water. They did our sewer. They filled up with propane. People were dropping off food. The city of Santa Cruz and the residents of Santa Cruz just felt our pain. But here I am looking at this building, and I know I'm in lease negotiations, and it's an empty slate, like a canvas with nothing in it.
Well, but you had already decided, obviously, that you believe that this would be a good location to open another Ace store, right?
Absolutely. And I'm so thankful that here we are today doing our grand opening event a year later. And we Ace, as Ace stores and store owners and the associates, we just want to be good neighbors to our community. And I think we've accomplished that here with this store. This store, it took a lot of work, and it's paid off. And now I have my son Josh with me, who's helping me, because we have 3 stores in Santa Cruz now. So, but this store is definitely our flagship store.
And so it's a franchise, obviously. I mean, you call it a franchise, or maybe there's a different word.
So in the state of California, how it operates under a franchise. But actually, Ace is a co-op, so they're all individually owned. And as a co-op, we're a small business at its best. And we try to bring in products that serve our community. Being a co-op, we're not being dictated to what we can carry. If I wanted to sell, say, surfboards here, I could bring in surfboards.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have that flexibility as small business owners. If what our community is asking for, if there's a source that I could go get it and bring it in, absolutely, I would do that.
That's tremendous. Okay. So, Josh, what's your background? You're a pretty young-looking guy here.
Yeah. So, not too recently, in December, I graduated college with a communications and business degree.
San Jose State.
San Jose State. Yeah. So I finished that up, and I had done a couple internships with some consulting companies, and I decided, with some talks with my family, that we all kind of wanted to stick together. And I knew that working with my family, working with this community would be rewarding and fun. And so I decided to hop on board, and so far it's been nothing but a fun ride.
That's great. So you were on board before this store, right? I mean,
right as it was coming together, yeah.
Yeah.
Jumped on.
Right.
Now, he did work a couple summers at our West Side store. So, yeah, Josh has been...
West Side Hardware.
West Side Hardware.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and the other Santa Cruz location
It's on Seabright and Soquel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old Horse Snyder's, right?
Yes, right next to Horse Snyder's.
Yeah.
You're right.
Used to be Horse Snyder's itself back when I was growing up, I think.
It was a Blockbuster Video, and we just took down those standard mirrors that they had in the Blockbusters around the perimeter. We just got those down. So I think we look more like a hardware store now. So
right. And I've always thought that Ace is a first-class operation because they've got quality products and they have reasonable prices. I've never thought, I shouldn't. There's a better place to buy stuff. I've never thought that.
I think when it, like I said, we are trying to be the best neighbor possible, and what I see today in the hardware, retail hardware, is you just don't get the service. And so when you walk into our stores, I think what you're going to find is we're going to greet you. Thank you for coming in, and help you solve any problems you might be having, or come up with a solution that you need to help repair, fix your home. That's what we are. And today, retail sales online are very impersonal. A lot of people go out there and social media, they find ways of fixing problems, but you can come into our Ace Hardware store anytime and talk to any one of us, and we'll help you come up with a solution for whatever problem you might be having with your house or your home. Or garden, yeah, absolutely. Or garden.
With a solution, and leave with a solution with a solution in your hand and a smile on your face.
There you go. There you go.
That's one of the Ace commercials we have on the radio. So, anyhow, so great. So this is the actual grand opening weekend, not just today. It's all weekend long, right?
Correct.
And grand opening celebrations typically offer things that are not, standard. What are some of those things today?
Wow, where to start? We could cover a whole hour on this. Right now
we have an hour. We have more than an hour left.
Currently we have a bucket promotion going on. So you come on down. We're going to give you a free 5-gallon Ace Hardware bucket, and anything you can put in the bucket, we're going to give you 20% off of it. So I think that's a great way to launch your grand opening event.
Whoa!
On top of that, we're raffling off a Weber grill, a Craftsman toolbox. We have a list of items we're raffling off, and that you don't have to join Ace Rewards, but we're putting it out on a card if you want to be part of our Ace Rewards program. Again, you get more discounts and whatnot mailed to you, but you could just come down and enter, And we're just thankful that we're part of the community and being able to open this local owned hardware store in your community. So it's great.
I can't wait to go in and see all these. And there's a lot of deals outside too.
There is. There is.
And there's plenty of parking. Yeah, parking has been known to be a problem in downtown Santa Cruz, but not here.
That's
not
right.
at all. not at all.
Yeah, and you'll see in the parking lot itself, we have a lot of just reduced prices from anything, birdseed, soils, DeWalt's down here. So to speak of a few of the brands and the vendors that are coming out to help support us, we have Still is out here, DeWalt is out here. And they've got discounts on their own that they're giving folks that are coming down to participate in our grand opening event. So pretty exciting stuff.
Well, how does that work? You get a coupon or something?
There's coupons. When you walk in the door, we're giving out free T-shirts. I mean, I can go down a list of all the other deals Rob, our district manager, put together, but he's got some insane pricing, let's just say that. So as you walk into the store, you'll see on our end caps, we have these end cap promotions where, say a bottle of windshield washer fluid normally is $2.99. It's 99 cents. So
I got to stock up on that.
Now's the time. And birdseed, I can't tell you how many people are grabbing bags of birdseed and just going out to feed the birds and enjoy the day. So which is fun.
Wow. And I'm serious. What did you say, Michael? Here. Sure.
Yeah, it's so easy to see Ace as a big kind of corporate store because you see the national Ace ads and whatnot. But actually, it's the quintessential locally owned business. And here in our immediate area, we have, I think, the Zaremba family has 3 now.
That's correct.
The Scarborough family, I think they have 3, maybe 4 stores.
I think they have 6.
6, yes. Okay, 6, yeah. They're all the way across the bay now in Carmel. And the Rodriguez brothers have 6 stores. So it's really the quintessential locally owned business. How did it get that way?
That's a great question. I was 5 years ago, I bought Westside Hardware from Rodney Hoffer, who had owned the Ace Hardwares in the Santa Cruz community for 30 years.
You were a district manager.
So he was the manager. He was the owner of the old Santa Cruz Hardware.
That is correct. That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was in a Clint Eastwood movie, Sudden Impact.
He was actually here before the earthquake.
Yeah.
So he was part of the Ace Hardware. He owned that Ace Hardware when the earthquake hit the downtown.
I know.
And he had to relocate it.
My father's optometry office was directly next door to Santa Cruz Hardware.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so wow, I remember that, and I got goosebumps when I saw Sudden Impact. There's much of it was filmed here in Santa Cruz.
Yes.
And a lot of it in that particular hardware store. It was Rodney's.
Correct. So
yeah,
and like I said, he had been doing this for 30 years. Now I was with Ace Corporate for 10 years, and during that time, I helped Rodney put together the store on Seabright and Soquel. So I was the district manager that helped him with that project, and we built that store out for him. Full circle, 5 years ago, Rodney was looking to get out. He's like, I'm ready to retire. Have you ever thought about owning a hardware store? And I looked at him and said, you know what?
He's talking to his district manager.
I
love this.
I said,
story.
hey, let's
great.
Let's take a look at the numbers and see if we can make this work. And so 5 years ago, I bought the Westside Hardware store from Rodney, and it's been great. The Westside community took to that store and looked at the remodel we did in there. We added $150,000 worth of new product into that store, and the community just said, hey, we love this store. It's almost like they walk in on a daily basis, put their flag in there and say, this is my hardware store. We love you being here. And we look at them the same way. We couldn't survive without the Westside community over there. And it's been great. And so when Rodney finally sold his last store to me, which was the one on Seabright and Soquel, that was June 1st, 2019. And so I bought that store. We did a remodel in January, did a re-grand opening event. And sure enough, COVID, you remember, 2020, here it is, March, just everything shut down. But we did the same thing. We brought in all those products. And so now we have, over in that side of town, just loving us, saying, hey, can you get this for me? And we went out and we sourced product that was really difficult to get, from hand sanitizer toilet paper, all those essential items that people were looking for, and we did it. We did it the best job we could to be the best neighbor we could to our community. So here we are today.
That's
Grand opening
tremendous.
event right downtown.
That is wonderful. Yeah, so the official grand opening is this weekend, but you're probably going to have some festivities going beyond that.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
Oh sure. Oh sure.
It's a fun building. It really is a fun building to walk into and imagine. As you don't have to imagine it anymore because it's reality.
Yeah, it's here. We're here.
I'm used to seeing this place. What a strange place for a drugstore, but it was sort of cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I was surprised to hear that it had gone away, and it seemed to happen so quickly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was driving in between our two stores when I saw them peeling the Walgreens off the side of the building, and about that time I got to my other store, and my operations manager Dave called me up and said, "Hey, they're closing down that Walgreens. I think I found us a new site." And I said, "I just pulled in the parking lot," because I turned around and came right back here, and we walked in the store and talked to the store manager. He says, "Yeah, 2 more days, we're done."
Wow.
And so we reached out right away to our brokers, and they got in touch with the Walgreens folks who hadn't even listed it or anything, and we started that communication with them right away.
I'm so happy to hear that because small businesses that have the buying power of franchises and bigger companies I think are the future of our communities, really. And do you have plans for further? Is that sort of a
Well, let me tell you. So Josh coming into the business, I'm that guy that has a 10-year plan that this thing will be in his hands, and my wife and I would like to go travel and just kind of enjoy life a little bit. And Josh coming into our business and really helping us run it and take it over, it's going to be up to him. If he wants to expand, I'll support him 100%. But I think right now...
I love asking unfair questions. Josh, do you want to expand?
We will see. I think we have...
Oh, I got to turn on the microphone here. Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, I think we have some ideas in play, but we play it by ear right now. I think we are really feeling the love of the community through the 3 stores that we have now. And if we want to expand our helpfulness...
I think there are going to be more and more opportunities with buildings in great locations come because of Amazon. Yeah. My father used to say there's one wonderful investment, and that's good commercial property.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of commercial properties that are good that aren't good investments at the moment because they're vacant. Mm-hmm. And why are they vacant? Well, I mean, some of it is COVID, but a lot of it is Amazon and things and the internet.
Yeah,
things going online. And you make a really good point, and I want to stress that there really is something to be said, and there's a lot to be said for having a place to come where you can go pick it up right away after having been educated by people who are there to help you.
Correct.
You don't get any of that online.
No. And we're known as the fix it, repair. That's really what our motto is, if you just hit your sprinkler head with your lawnmower, right? It's like, are you going to go online and buy that sprinkler head and try to replace it, or even figure out what tool you need to actually pull the nipple out of the ground? And no, you're going to come in and ask some questions. You might go online and take a look at how to do it, but you need that done that day. It's like, okay, so you're going to come down. We're going to walk you through. And hopefully some folks nowadays, they take pictures of what their issue is, whether it's they're looking for a toilet flap, or they take a picture of what they've got and they come on down and, hey, we've got that right here for you. And this is how you replace it. So you're right. The online business has crushed a few industries. Shoe stores seem to have gone away amongst other industries as well. But when you need advice, you need help, you need product right away, we're here for you. I mean, how do you go pick out nuts and bolts or decide what color paint you want to put on a wall? You can't really do that online, or even get a key cut. Or maybe your screens need to be replaced.
Key cut. Wow.
Yeah. So
I need that all the time.
Yeah. I don't know how you get your windows rescreened online. I'm not really sure how they would do that, but we do that. We could take care of you. Bring your screens down. We'll replace the screen for you.
Cool.
We do knife sharpening. I'm not sure how you do that online either, but we have other services we do. Amongst that, we have some great products. I can't tell you, grills. That's something, you test drive a car, right? Well, you really want to go out and like lift the lid on a grill to kind of get an understanding of what you're, right? But if you buy one online, who knows what you're going to get. But we have great brands from Weber, Traeger, Green Egg. I mean,
Green Egg is supposed to be the new rage. Is that right? I mean, what's so great about Green Egg? I know that. Now that I have an opportunity to ask someone who would know.
Yeah, this product line has a following. And they'll even tell you they're eggheads. They love that grill, and I do too. It's something that burns very little fuel, and it's more of you think of it like a kiln-based style of cooking, where you could really slow cook something. But amongst that, you could do pizzas. It is a very versatile grill that you could do so many different types of barbecuing. It's a great product.
My nieces and nephews bought one of those grills as an anniversary gift for their parents, and I think they love it.
Yeah, no, and I've heard that from customers where a father's come in and told me, hey, I handed down my Green Egg that I had that I bought in 1999 to my son, and he just bought his first house. So I'm in here to buy this one, and he's buying another Green Egg. It's amazing. It's like an heirloom item. It's something that you're handing down from generation to generation. It really is a versatile grill to barbecue on.
That is fantastic. I can't wait to have my own. I wonder if I'll use it. Yeah, but anyhow, so terrific. Okay, well, so why don't you make the invitation to come on down? I've been suggesting that our come from the owners themselves
from
here.
The owner. Yeah, I encourage the Santa Cruz community to come down and check out their new Ace Hardware store. We put a lot of thought, a lot of energy into this store to bring you the products that you've been looking for and the brands that you would recognize right away. It's a fun environment. We have great people down here, great vendor support this weekend as well, and we're excited. If you come check it out, I don't think you'll be disappointed. You pick up your free bucket and a free T-shirt. And
the bucket I love. It's white, which is my favorite, bright, cheerful color, right? And I've been seeing a lot of people walk in front of us here with their bucket and their other.
And who doesn't need a bucket, right? I mean, everybody that has a house has a bucket. I guarantee it.
Yes. In fact, the more buckets, the merrier, I think. So, and then what was that discount again? That's a significant
20% off everything that fits in the bucket. So, you know what I'm telling you? I've seen people. They've taken this beach chair and they're putting one leg in it and they're going, "Do I get 20?" We're just giving you the 20% off. So just come down. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
For anything or anything that fits in the bucket?
Well, we're very open to whatever you think you can get a piece of that into the bucket. We're going to give you 20%.
Okay, good. That's wonderful. Okay, Jason and Josh Zaremba, thank you very much for being with us, and all the success in the world to you.
Thank you.
It's a great. I can't think of a better use for this particular real estate than what you guys are doing with it.
Appreciate that.
And it's definitely needed. We haven't had a hardware store in downtown Santa Cruz since the earthquake, right?
Well, let's just say the Helpful Place hasn't been downtown since the earthquake. So, we're super excited to be here. So, and like I said, I don't think anybody that comes down here today or any day after is going to be disappointed with the service or the products that we carry.
Sounds good to me. Great. I can't wait to check it out myself. Okay, that's about it for hour number 1 of the KSCO Saturday Special for today. We got an hour ahead. We're going to...
The number to call in with your traffic reports is 475-1080. Coming up next on your favorite radio station, it is time for hour 2 of the Saturday Special with your host, MZ.
Who's not here yet.
Oh, okay. Well...
Coming to sit down.
Okay, well let's play the hour 2 opening jingle, and then we'll get started after that.
Oh, hello, darling. I hate to hang up on you, but I'm sorry, baby, but I have to go. It's time for that wonderful record show. I'd love to visit, but you'll have to call back. KSCO has the inside track.
folks out there. Look at the grimace on Billy Graff. It's unbelievable.
I didn't know what you were going to say.
Well,
I'm sorry,
folks, it
baby,
sounds quite
but I
right.
really gotta go to KSCO Radio. Bye.
we're going to have Bonnie Lipscomb, who is the redevelopment director of economic development and redevelopment of the city of Santa Cruz. And that's what we call a tease in the radio business. Yeah, Bonnie isn't here now, but she's on her way. Right, Michael Olson? Oh, she is? Oh, okay.
And my understanding, MZ, is that she's joining us by phone. I think we have her on line 1 now.
Okay. Well, Michael's here, and he can, anything I don't understand, he certainly does.
And then some.
Yeah, a lot more.
Okay, well, I think Bonnie is joining us on the
Good.
telephone, Mr. Olson.
That's
Hello.
great because, hello, Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
You've got the
Nice to be
Michaels
with
on.
you. Great.
It's okay.
so happy to join you.
This is radio. We're used to not seeing who we're talking to.
Great.
We're happy to have Bonnie with us because we'd love to learn about the redevelopment of our downtown, because what we're seeing here in the very near future is a whole new downtown. Isn't that exciting to you, Michael Zwerling? I mean, this is your town. It
is my town, and I am excited.
Your hometown.
Can you tell how excited I am? Extremely excited.
So hopefully Bonnie can tell us how this works, how we're going about doing this, because she's the gal with all the money.
That's great. Are you a Seals Cirillo 2.0?
You know, those are big shoes to fill. Let me just start out by saying that. And one challenge we've had in the last 9 years is that the governor terminated redevelopment. So we are no longer the redevelopment agency with that designated tax increment. With that said, we are still focused on redevelopment and revitalization and have a number of projects around the city, including the downtown.
Why did the governor end redevelopment?
You know, I think there are a variety of reasons, but it has to do with the fact that it was, $1.7 billion, and this is 9 years ago numbers of tax increment that was going directly to local governments that the state redirected to backfill their obligation to schools. So at the time, the state budget was in a different place, and it was a way for them to meet their obligations to public schools. So I totally understand why, but it is a loss for local governments across the state.
It always seems to me like money should start locally, and whatever's left should go upstream. But
I never thought of that, but that's right on. I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
why isn't it that way?
Yeah, it just seems to be the other way around. The central government takes all of our money, and we get what's left that trickles down. But so now that they've taken that away, Bonnie, how do you operate, and how are we redeveloping our downtown here?
Yeah, we do a lot of leveraging. One of the things, particularly for the downtown, that's been really critical is the reinvestment of our affordable housing dollars. So we have city-led and initiated 3 public-private mixed-use affordable housing projects in development stage right now in the downtown. And then you add that to another, at least 4, actually 5, and counting privately led mixed-use housing projects, and you really see downtown is on the cusp of some major reinvestment that's going to really, I think, provide for that long-term sustainability and viability downtown. It's pretty exciting.
Now, what do you see in the future for Santa Cruz? How do you see it shaping up here? You're the one that's really, working behind the scenes. What do you see? What is the vision for downtown Santa Cruz?
Well, I think for downtown Santa Cruz, we have had some just, extremely successful, independently owned stores in the downtown. from, Bookshop Santa Cruz to Sock Shop, just, you name it, Del Williams. We have some incredible stores downtown, Pacific Trading Company, Stripe, just, world-class stores right in our downtown. And what we need to provide is sort of the residential focus that is going to be, I think, the lifeline for long-term just sustainability downtown. So being able to support, particularly with online sales now, a really, just a bustling downtown center is going to be the key for long-term success. And that's where that residential comes in.
So with so many people living downtown, you look to the future in a few years and you see a town filled with people. It's kind of like Mardi Gras in New Orleans. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people, Santa Cruz is always going to be a very desirable place to live, but there are very few places in our town where you can have denser development. You typically want to have them around public transportation, which we have downtown with the Metro Center. And in fact, that's one of our revitalization projects is with the Metro. So these types of projects are what really is, when you look to the future, the type of development we should be doing.
Well, good. And do you think it's going to be as exciting as I think it's going to be downtown Santa Cruz?
I don't know how exciting you think it's going to be, but I think it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
And in fact, we have some really fun things that are coming up in the near future. And I don't know some of the other guests you may have had on the show, but has anyone mentioned the downtown days that are coming up?
No.
Okay, so we
you
have.
should.
Well, great. We have on September 24th, we have Downtown Day, which is a welcome back UCSC students, welcome back slugs. And we have a whole day dedicated to them downtown. We have banners going up that are sort of better together, welcome back slugs into the downtown. And we have a whole scavenger hunt planned, free movies for students that day. It's going to be a really great day.
But what about for us alumni? Both Michaels here are alumni.
We sure are.
Yeah, we should have something too.
Yeah.
Well, come on down. You can participate. It's really an all-inclusive day, and we're focusing on the students just because we didn't have students last year, and we just want to welcome them back and realize from a town gown perspective, UCSC is a big part of our community, alumni and returning students.
Well, now that you brought up the pandemic in an offhand sort of way, how did we survive, Bonnie?
It's interesting. As I mentioned, a few minutes ago, our businesses are so resilient. Right now in the downtown, we have over 47 outdoor expansions in the downtown. And what that means is there's 47 businesses that have temporary emergency permits to operate outdoors in public spaces or privately owned spaces adjacent to their businesses. So we have a number of restaurants. We have a couple retail, but mostly restaurants who have rolled up their sleeves and made it work. It's been pretty incredible. We're actually next Tuesday going to council to recommend that we extend our emergency outdoor expansion program for another year, just recognizing that economic recovery is really a multi-year process, and we want to give these businesses the best chance for long-term success.
Well, if you were to go to Rome or Paris or someplace like that, sidewalk dining is just the way things are done. Is there any reason why we can't just make that part of the way we do business around here?
Yeah, and that actually is the plan. We had a when I say pre-existing, pre-COVID, pre-pandemic pilot program for outdoor expansion. And what we're going to be working on in the next year, and this really includes working with the Downtown Association and with our businesses one-on-one, is making sure that if they want to expand into those public parking spaces, that we're just addressing, sort of the safety, health and safety aspects of permanently being outdoors. As you look outdoors now, the temporary nature of it, we have the water barriers or the K-rails, those parade rails up. And so it is actually putting the structure in place to make those safe and beautiful for permanence. And so that's something we're going to be working on in the next year with the businesses that are interested.
So our town really is changing.
For the better.
for the better, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I think at the same time we're preserving, a lot of what we love about it, and I think that's what's great.
Well, one of the things I brought up to when we had some city council folks on earlier was the notion that some of our traditional problems here in Santa Cruz, and I'm speaking of the houseless or the homeless population, and the drug addicted population, and some of the problems that really make it difficult for people to come downtown Santa Cruz might change if there is a large population of residents living downtown who are kind of taking care of their own neighborhood, as it were. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think having, activated streets, activated Riverwalk, activated public areas, always is, something that you want for a downtown. I think at the same time, working with our county and our community organizations, we really need to make sure that we're providing and meeting the needs of our homeless population. So mental health outreach services are something that we do in the downtown. Making sure that those who are homeless have access to services. So I think it's an ongoing effort, and those needs, will continue, over time. And we want to make sure that we're working with our partners and our partner agencies to address those issues.
And what about the Riverwalk? I mean, San Antonio has a wonderful Riverwalk. Why can't we have a wonderful river walk in Santa Cruz? Because we have a wonderful river that runs right through town.
We do. And you know what? We have a wonderful Riverwalk path right now. And one of the exciting things, or actually two and counting, is that we have two developments in permitting right now that will actually fill in part of the portion to the levees so that they can directly connect, and you can walk straight out from the back of those projects straight onto the Riverwalk. And so you'll have restaurant, public access to the trails right on the Riverwalk. So that's part of the vision, is re-engaging with the Riverwalk, and historically we were engaged with the river, and so that's part of the long-term vision, is really bringing that river into downtown, making those connections really strong. That's actually part of the downtown vision that I'm pretty excited about.
Well, San Antonio.
Yeah.
Shades of San Antonio, right? I think it would be so cool to take advantage of that San Lorenzo River walk, with buildings and events and venues and stuff. God, do you think it could really happen?
Oh yeah, I think it is
in
happening.
My lifetime.
Yes, absolutely. Another exciting aspect I'll just mention really quickly is that we have two things coming downtown in addition to Downtown Days. Is we have Seawall Santa Cruz, and this is a partner with Pangea Seed, led by well-known artist, muralist Taylor Reinhold. We're going to be having internationally known artists doing murals on buildings downtown around ocean stewardship and making that connection between the river, since you mentioned it, to the ocean. And it's going to be really exciting. So that's coming. And then these two projects that connect to the Riverwalk will also have major murals associated with them. So some pretty exciting things coming downtown.
So when do you think these things will actually be operational? How soon can that happen?
Yeah, the major projects, once they start construction, are generally between 18 months and 2 years before they complete. So one of them right now, I think, is slated to start next spring. So we're talking, roughly 3 years out.
2025. That's not so far.
So
it's not.
It's really interesting that there's so much activity fomenting here during such bizarre times. COVID.
Yeah.
It seems like much of the world is falling apart, and yet here we have a downtown that's being born.
Yeah, I think it is a long time sort of in planning, but I do think that the pandemic has brought a lot of people together to see, and really think about what do we want for our future downtown and how can we support, the businesses that are here and the long-term sort of vitality of downtown. So I think that's really what the pandemic has done, is brought a lot of us together to communicate and talk about what our shared vision is.
Well, there it is. Well, Bonnie, I know you have to run, but sure do appreciate you joining us this morning here. Wish you were down here helping us open the new Ace Hardware store, but thanks anyway. Really appreciate you joining us on the phone.
Well, thanks so much for inviting me, and I'm excited that Ace is in our downtown community. We really needed a hardware store downtown, and it's going to do great.
It's going to be great. Well, things are looking up downtown Santa Cruz. So thanks for all your efforts, Bonnie. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bonnie.
And your staff.
Thank you, Michael.
Love hearing all the good, exciting news for the future. That's great.
Great. Thank you. Take care.
Have a good one.
Good.
Here we are at 22 minutes past 11 on hour number 2 of the Saturday special. What other interesting humans do you have set up for us?
Well, I can go drag some in, but I think we should ask our audience the big question. You like or you know like?
Or you know like. Okay. Well, I understand that a very, very infrequent caller, Colonel Terry, is on the phone.
Well, there you go. What kind of trouble can we get in with Colonel Terry?
Yeah. So let's put Colonel Terry on the Saturday special and ask him.
Good morning, gentlemen. And
how are you feeling?
Wait a minute. What makes you think we're gentlemen?
Well, I know you both well. I'm
Okay.
a gentleman, and I can tell. Usually you're a gentleman, okay? But coming to the point, I wish the Ace Hardware every business and other success opening downtown. I'm a frequent customer at the Ace Hardware that Charlie Friedman advertises. Will that be one of his locations as well?
Well, who knows? We'll see where all of this takes us.
All right. Well, I wish them every success. But look, speaking of downtown, gentlemen, let's be candid and realistic and truthful. The bond issues that I voted for more libraries did not include a rip-off downtown parking garage combination library to benefit people putting in housing that also I didn't approve for, or anyone. The majority of voters who voted for that library bonds in the tens of millions of dollars to come off on our taxes did not vote for the bait and switch that was played by the city council, the supervisors, and the planning department at all. And we've been in meetings where that was confronted, and that has never been disproven. It was a bait and switch. I refer you to any of Mr. Stephen Kiesler's articles on that, where he calls it properly the bait and switch. It was a bait and switch involving 10, if not $100 million. The old library facility could have been retrofitted and fixed. Who knows what ripoff is going to happen with that as county property. So there's the question. It was unneeded. And you talk about preserving downtown. You don't have to add a high-rise housing unit. And
medium rise, Colonel Terry, medium rise.
All right, whatever. And parking garage to preserve downtown. And if parking, you could have put parking belongs over at the courthouse parking. Add 2 levels of parking there to the courthouse that never has enough, and run shuttle buses to downtown. That would have been smart and efficient and cost tens of millions of dollars less and been less of an eyesore.
Well, I'm so happy that Colonel Terry has an opinion about something.
I have an informed opinion, Mike. A very well-informed opinion.
And an informed opinion, too.
The bonds.
And I'm
and
especially happy that you give your opinions on KSCO radio.
Are you really?
Well, yes, I am. Sometimes.
Yeah. Now, listen, Colonel Terry, I've got to say this, okay?
Go ahead.
All right? Are you ready?
Please.
Okay. Here we were doing a totally positive, which rarely happens on KSCO and talk radio in general, a purely positive, happy a remote broadcast, and then you come and take a dump on it.
No, I did not on you. You're guilty
on the broadcast. You turned a perfectly positive broadcast into a waste treatment plant.
No, MZ, it's appropriate to preserve the old library and to save 29.
Wait a minute.
We have an ACE customer who just came up and he says,
"What's with Colonel Terry?
Yeah.
It's time to be happy.
I know.
I just came down here.
I've been after Joe Hall
tire
for
pressure gauge, and I got 20% off and a bucket.
Yeah.
So,
and Joe Hall, I've been after you for 30 years to come on the radio here.
Okay, thanks for what?
That's Joe Hall, the former zoning administrator for the city of Santa Cruz.
Well,
and
really?
Long since retired. And he's a total, he has a total amazing gift of gab, and would always, I've been after him to be a talk show guest or a talk show host on KSCO, and thus far I haven't succeeded.
Well, we got 2 words out of him.
Better than nothing.
Ask what he thinks of the library
Yeah.
garage. Boondoggle.
Okay, good seeing you, Joe Hall. Did you come down here because of the broadcast? Good. He said so. He said yes. That's what we want. We want to know how many other people are coming down here because of the broadcast.
Colonel Terry, why aren't you down here?
Yeah.
How long are you going to be there?
Another half hour.
Okay. Well,
But-
I will.
but
I promise to patronize the Ace Hardware store.
Great.
Okay. The ACE here in downtown Santa Cruz is going to be celebrating its grand opening for another day and a half. So you have the perfect opportunity to come down, get yourself a bucket, a free bucket, fill it up with stuff, get 20% off, have fun. And you know what? The fun thing about coming to an ACE Hardware with a problem is that you walk right in the door and there's a smiling face standing there.
And it's a truly smiling face, not a false smile.
They're happy to see you.
And they're truly happy to see you.
And they say, "How can I help you?" And you say, "Well, my widget broke at my house, and I didn't know what to do." And they say, "No problem. Come right over here. Here's your solution." What's the saying?
With the solution in the bag and a smile on your face. You leave with the solution in the bag and the smile on your face. Hey, we got some other calls. Thank you, Colonel Terry. Okay, you have a good one, and let's find out who's up next, Dave.
Okay, it looks like John calling from Soquel.
The John from the Soquel?
Michael,
Holy
good
Christmas.
morning.
This is our lucky
Another
day.
good
How are
Saturday
you, John?
special. Thank you.
To ask you a question.
Well,
wait a minute.
I had a question for you.
Okay.
Well, John, put it on hold because for just a second here.
No. What's the question?
Oh, can you hear me right? It's
Yes,
not it's
you're
not
on the air.
Yeah, what's your first name?
Allison.
Hello, Allison.
How are you?
Just right. Now, what is your question?
I don't feel like my question's really for the world, but I can ask it anyway.
Go ahead and ask it anyway.
Okay, so I'm part of a team of people who are building a giant art installation for Abbott Square in a couple of weeks, and I wanted to know how to get people like you there to come and be a part of it.
Well, you just did. Okay.
I guess I did just do that.
Yeah.
Would you like to come be a part of it?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Love that.
Give him a call, and he'll figure out how to put it together.
There you go.
Now, we have to go back.
All right, I'm going to send you a message.
I'm going to turn that mic
You
down
bet.
so we can go back to our phone call. We started a phone call, and I had to interrupt it because that lady came up.
Well, that's what happens with live broadcasts, you know.
Okay.
It just things get messy, and it's kind of like eating fresh hot pizza.
Oh.
You know, it tastes so good, but it gets all over you.
Yeah. Okay. So, caller, you're back on, and we're going to listen to you now.
Yes. Good morning. And thanks. Another good Saturday special, Michael. Thank you. I love Ace Hardware, and it's nice to see them back downtown again. I think that's great. On what Colonel Terry said, I think he's entirely correct. And I don't think it's necessarily negative because it's good to bring up different points of view, and an opposing point of view is often, very worthwhile, I think. So
that's the foundation upon which KSCO is built. That is true.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the other thing is a native-born Santa Cruzan. the downtown to me is changing way too quickly, and the costs of everything are going up so much. Well, housing is horrendous, and so it's.
Did you say you're a native
difficult.
Santa Cruzan? Did you say you're
I
a
am,
native?
yes.
Wow, that makes
Yes.
two of us.
Yes. So, well, then, we've seen a lot of changes, especially starting with the University of California was a huge change, and especially in housing, et cetera.
As we knew it would be.
Yeah. Which I think was a mix of positive and negative.
Yes.
I just
absolutely.
I don't always think that UCSC is the best neighbor as far as issues of water issues, et cetera, and housing impact issues.
Right.
Do you think UCSC should build their own reservoir?
I think they should. I think they should provide more housing for their students. So and that's my point of view. But I want to speak for other people who have been born in the area or live here a long time and are being forced out of the area, and put a word in for those folks, because a lot of the low-income housing coming up, like downtown, et cetera, some of it is like low income is $100,000 a year. I mean, to me, that is. I've heard those numbers anyway. So, I mean, explain that.
I think it's all based on. Didn't they say it was based on kind of like a median income? You have a base income, and there are those above that medium and those below that medium. So if the medium's like $6 million a year, then low income could be like $2 million a year, right?
Right. Well, that's where big tech has had such a huge impact also. That's the biggest impact, even bigger to me than the university impacts to the area. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there.
So what do you think of the prospects of a newly reinvigorated downtown Santa Cruz that has a lot of people living in it?
I don't think it's going to work for everyone unless some of those issues are addressed.
It's not going to work for everyone, but what does?
Well, I think it creates still such a stratification, in people of really very wealthy means, and it's going to, it's just gentrification, which I like to see the improvements and, well, the focus on, for example, the river focus, et cetera. It is very positive. It's been spoken of for decades. We rely on the river so much. Most of the water for the city comes from the river. So, it's just, we should be celebrating its presence and put a focus on it and its value.
Okay, hey, thank you for your call to the Saturday special, and nice to hear from another native. Okay, Dave, who's up next?
It looks like Ken in Live Oak.
Well, hello, Ken in Live Oak. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
I was just wondering, this sounds like the beginning implications of Agenda 21. Maybe the positive side of Agenda 21, but I was just wondering, it sounds like it's being implemented. Some of the things that you hear about the plans of Agenda 21.
It might be, but a lot of people are happy about it.
Yeah, it's just
in what respects would it?
Just if you're not forced into it, it's good for people that want to do it, but then for the other people that don't want to be forced into that, the other implications of Agenda 21.
Well, I'm very much against forced anything in a free country. That's for darn sure. But
so I just, it just came to my mind that it sounds like it's the beginnings of what's happening all over. But it's got positive and negative effects. But when you're forced into stuff that, for the people that, it's good for people that want to do it, but the people that don't, if they have their property rights taken away and forced out of the outer areas into the inner areas.
We're like indigenous people getting chased off the land, aren't we?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for calling KSCO. We appreciate it. 479-1080 is the phone number to call in. Dave, who's next?
Lane in Corralitos.
Hello, Lane in Corralitos, California.
Good morning
Home,
to you.
home of the best sausage.
And the home of many of the best things.
Yes.
Wine grapes, berries,
Yes.
apples. Anyway, a lot of my questions were answered by listening to the three prior callers, which all great. That's how we learn about what's going on. The whole idea when what was it, the city council, I got to the middle of her talk about the big plan for the cities, the river walks. It sounds beautiful, but what about the problems that we haven't fixed yet? I mean, did I miss that? Is there a solution for the homeless issue? Was that discussed?
There's never going to be a solution for the homeless problem.
Oh, don't say that.
There isn't. Well, that's just my opinion, of course.
Oh.
Will we continue just to push the ball down the road into some other area and take it away from the city so that people that come to visit here think that we don't have that problem? I mean,
there will always be the poor. There will always be people there will always be people who can't afford to live in Santa Cruz. It's just the way it is.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the I don't want to call them incentives. I only talk about what I see. I do some reading, and I'm not an expert in everything, and I don't know everything. I'm not talking about, I see people that don't have a lot of money that are able to live in town. They have places at the top of the Palomar, seniors, that have been able to have affordable housing for the poor people. Or let's just say this, because the economy's changed so rapidly, it's not that they're poor, they just can't catch up to the new economy. Okay, but I'm talking about the people in tents, the people on drugs, the people that don't search out help, even when the help is there. We have a myriad of people here, people that have come out of prisons, and it makes it easy for them to come here and hang out with a group of like-minded people, and what do we do about that? Again, are we just going to kind of roll it in?
May I throw something in here with respect to that?
Please do, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was asking the city council people about and whatnot. But it seems to me like they have taken over downtown Santa Cruz. And there are a lot of people now who will not go to downtown Santa Cruz because of the elements that have taken over downtown Santa Cruz. Now, it seems to me like if, as they are doing, they're going to be providing a lot of housing downtown Santa Cruz, people will be living downtown Santa Cruz. A lot of people. And those people will, just by their very nature of that being their home, will start looking after their neighborhood and displacing those elements that everybody is frightened about meeting on the streets down here. So by providing housing downtown Santa Cruz, I think a lot of those problems are going to just disappear. But that's just my thinking. What do you think?
I believe they'll maybe disappear from downtown, and they'll end up in Midtown P or Corralitos or Freedom. I guess I'm bringing up something a little bit different. I just feel like, yes, that's great for Santa Cruz now. And Santa Cruz is taking the problem that it chose not to do anything about a long time ago and exacerbated by passing out drugs and letting attempts be in parking lots of store owners, and now it's just going to be moved somewhere else. You know, so that's my feeling.
So what you're saying is suggesting is the possibility that Santa Cruz will be exporting its problems to Corralitos.
I'm not necessarily Corralitos, not just where I live, but to kind of to just, like I said, keep kicking the ball down the road without we've thrown so much money away on this Band-Aid effect when we really, if somebody could get it together, I would think if you're an official and you've been elected to do something, to get it together with a group of people to help deal a little more logically with the problem. And I don't want to take up a lot of time with my ideas because I've already espoused them on the radio show before, but there are solutions. It's almost like when I brought my solution up to someone on the board of the realtors, they said, well, how are you going to put these people there? How will you get them to agree to go to a safe place where they can be rehabbed, retrained, or at least be safe? Because they have the choice not to go. But they have the choice not to go, but they also have the choice to pitch their tent in somebody's yard if their yard is in an area that Santa Cruz is deemed available for the homeless to sleep. So, you know, I feel like, yes, this idea of downtown's awesome. Why isn't that energy put into taking care of a serious problem in so many different ways before we start throwing our money into making this city safe because we're going to fill it up with people that can afford to live there when this problem in Santa Cruz is just going to end up somewhere else in Santa Cruz County. And that's all. And like I said, I know I'm a little off base.
Well, thank you for being off base on the Saturday special.
I agree.
Okay.
That was a good off-base call.
Yeah. Dave, who's next?
Looks like up next is Pat calling from Santa Cruz.
Hello, Pat in Santa Cruz. How are you feeling today?
How am I feeling? I'm doing all right.
It's population, Pat. How are you?
That's
Yeah,
right.
You just told me, all right. I recognize the voice.
Yeah.
You've been calling KSCO for 30 years.
Not constantly.
No, that's true.
So
that's true.
So, Pat, why aren't you down here getting a bucket?
Oh, hey, I like Ace Hardware. Frankly, I'm surprised that a small, more or less community store like that can have such competitive prices and such a wide variety of stuff. And nobody paid me to say that. My only problem with them, you said, you know, you can go in there and somebody will greet you and they'll direct you to the widgets that you're looking for. Well, last time I went in there, they directed me to the whatchamacallits and not the widgets.
Happens that way.
Yeah, and if that wasn't bad enough, the next thing they did was apologize and direct me to the dooflickies. So I've pursued that line of thinking as far as it needs to.
Right.
Okay, now for the awful stuff. People always wring their hands about the homeless. Oh, what are we going to do about it? I don't think there's any immediate solution, but I think one of them, and I don't say this out of hatred, although I know exactly what some people are going to think and say, but how about mandatory birth control if you want to go on welfare? And possibly permanent birth control so you can't cheat about it. You know, when you're already expecting other people to support you, is it fair for you to have kids, which is going to only multiply the demands you're making on other people?
Population, Pat, makes an interesting point.
That's why they call them population.
And I'm not, hey, I'm pretty poor myself, okay? I'm not sitting here in a hilltop mansion.
Do you have any youngsters?
Nope.
Do you wish you did?
I knew as a teenager the world had exceeded its carrying capacity. In other words, more people in what can be comfortably supported long term, and that's got implications far beyond our immediate economy. We're in a mass extinction. I mean, other species are going extinct fastest in 65 million years. Now, some people don't give a damn. I do. And here in Santa Cruz, you'd think a lot of other people would too. So what are we going to do about that? Well, how about if the dominant species stops multiplying itself? That would be nice. But that solution's never
Pat, I have
added
a
to.
question for you. What do you, being a population restricting kind of guy, what do you think about open borders? Because there are like, I probably pretty close to 5 billion people who would rather live in Santa Cruz than where they're living right now.
That's what I've been saying.
And so
for
if
years.
we open up the borders, they'll all come to Santa Cruz, right? And then that way the rest of the world won't be overpopulated.
I have been saying this. No, it's not. I've been, up until that point, I was agreeing with you.
Okay.
If we have open borders, the only thing that's going to keep people from coming here, and think about this, this is not hyperbole. The only thing that will keep people from coming here is this will be the worst place on earth. Because until it is the worst place on earth, whoever is currently in the worst place on earth will understandably want to come here.
Nature hates a vacuum, doesn't it? It just
That's
doesn't
right.
work.
So until we are the worst place on earth, think seriously about this. I'm not just being silly here. Until we're the worst place on earth, people are still going to want to be coming here.
And
right?
if they keep coming here, it soon will be the worst place on earth.
Exactly. So the no-brainer here is, sorry, but we've already exceeded our own carrying capacity, which is what we're all complaining about here without really getting to the point. So no more people coming this way. And if you want birth control in the rest of the world, we'll be more than happy to help you out with that. But if you want to just keep...
Listen,
if you want to
population
just keep,
Pat, we got your message, but listen, we want everybody in the world right now to come down to the Ace Hardware in downtown Santa Cruz and celebrate a grand opening. And not only celebrate the grand opening of a new Ace Hardware, but celebrate the kind of the rebirth of a new downtown Santa Cruz. There's some really fun things cooking here. And maybe, if things work out the way we hope they will, Santa Cruz will be such an attractive place that everybody in the world will want to come here. And then we'll really be in big trouble.
No, I wish Ace Hardware well, all three of them, and I'll just leave it at that, but please take what I said seriously, because you can't refute
I think everybody takes what you say seriously, Pat. I think everybody is worried about the future of our world, but not always worried. Sometimes we like to take a Saturday off and have some fun with the Saturday special in downtown Santa Cruz.
Yeah. So I'm the only... So now you're going to make it look like I'm the only one crapping on your birthday party. Well,
no, Colonel Terry did earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fortunately,
but we appreciate your call.
Listen, that's what talk radio is about. Bitching and pissing and moaning.
But not all the time.
I know. I agree. That's what I hope that this would.
We're having some fun today.
Yes. So, anyhow, thank you for calling Population Pat. Dave, who's next?
Next up is Mary calling from Aromas.
Oh, Mary is one of my favorite callers. She is such a sweetheart. Yeah. So, hi, Mary. You're on the air, I think.
Michael Zwerling.
Hi, Mary. Are you there?
I'm here.
How are you feeling? Be honest.
Here every Saturday.
Oh, good.
Anyway, I wouldn't walk the streets of Santa Cruz.
Why not?
First of all, I have a little walker. I'd probably get knocked over the first day.
I don't know. I don't know about that. So
I don't know.
Well, anyhow,
anyway, I'm here
you should
every
come
Saturday,
down here. You should come down here to the newly grand opening Ace Hardware at the corner of Front Street and Laurel Street in downtown Santa Cruz. You need to do that. And if you do that in the next 9 minutes, you'll get to meet Michael Olson and me. Of course, that might be a good reason not to do it. But anyhow.
Michael?
Oh, I need to turn you on. Yeah.
And not only that, you'll get to see what we look like and the fact that we have faces built for radio.
We sure do, and we're so proud of that.
Well, you know, Michael, we're going to have birthdays. I want you to come out to the farm, and we'll
Can we
talk
do a
one
live
day.
remote from your farm?
You'll have to talk to my son-in-law, but wouldn't that be fun?
It would be. When is it?
Who's it?
This is
My birthday
Mary
is
and
the
Aromas.
2nd, and yours
hi,
is
Mary.
the 9th.
Yeah, when is it, Mary?
November 2nd, and yours is the 9th.
That's right. 1 week later. What day of the
Yes.
week is that?
I don't know.
I'll look it up. While we're talking. Yeah, geez, that'd be great. No, I have pressed the wrong button here. Okay, August. Let's see if September, October, November 2nd is a Tuesday, which means November 9th is also a Tuesday. So Mary's birthday, November 2nd, is is coming up, and my birthday, November 9th, is also coming up.
You'll be 70, and I'll be 99.
Wow, this is great. I can't wait to be your age, and the way things are going, it'll
And
be
you know
the
what?
day after
Life
tomorrow.
gets better.
That's true. Yeah, good. This is great. Wow. Well, always fun to hear from you, and always a pleasure.
All right.
So thank
and
you
I'm
for
here
checking
every
in.
Saturday.
Good.
Last Saturday, I was not depressed because I had 4 siblings that were in rest homes, and 2 of them were great.
Wow. Yeah. Was that the Saturday special where I went off the rails?
Yes.
Oh.
Which one was that?
The one
We
at
were
the
talking with
rest
Larry, who was Larry in the Fremont nursing home.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And it
All
was
right.
just
I'm
too
gonna
depressing
let
for
you
the
go.
Saturday special for me, and so I sort of went off the rails at one point.
I'll let you go, and we'll get together before our birthdays.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, Mary and Aromas.
That's what we should do.
What?
We should find a nursing home with happy people in it.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be fun?
And do a regular show from there.
Yeah, just one
With the happy
one of,
people
yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
show.
And I would bet that there are people in nursing homes who has very happy stories about their lives.
That'd be cool to find such a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
So-
mother was one.
No, she was never in a nursing home.
No, but
no,
she
she was
had-
in a residential. No, what do you call it?
A residential home, I guess. Yeah.
No. It was a. First, it was Dominican Oaks, and then it was here up. Assisted living.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, assisted living, but she was always independent. She always had her own apartment. She didn't need,
And
until the very, very
independent
end.
is a very good description of your mother.
Yeah.
She was Mrs. Independent.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
So anyhow, do we have other callers, Dave?
Oh yeah, we got plenty of callers, MC.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get to as many of them as we can in the next 4.5 minutes.
Okay, Carmen is calling from Santa Cruz.
Carmen, I haven't heard from Carmen in many years.
Yeah, I haven't called lately. Anyway, I just want to say that we just left Ace Hardware Store downtown.
Yeah.
And the grand opening, and I spent almost $100, and we couldn't use the bathroom. I'm 75, and my bladder needs to be emptied.
Oh,
Well,
You know,
there's a
when it needs to
complaint.
be
There
empty.
is a legitimate complaint. Then I'm going to address Jason Zaremba and I'm going to say,
Yeah.
What is her name? Carmen?
Carmen, yeah.
Carmen? Okay, just spent $100, and she couldn't use the bathroom. And you're in trouble, Jason.
Hey, Dave, please take down Carmen's phone number. Maybe we can get her called back.
Okay, I'm taking it down now.
Good. Okay, thank you, Carmen. Sorry about that. Wow. Otherwise, hopefully it was a positive experience.
I really enjoy shopping there, and I don't live very far, so
Okay.
it's great to have an Ace Hardware store right there.
Very good.
And
Okay. Now, our next...
All right, our next caller, MZ, is Greg calling from Campbell.
Hey, Greg, you're on KSCO on the Saturday Special. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, hey, Michael and Michael Olson.
Wait a minute. Oh, it's Craig. Hi, Craig.
Hello.
Hi, Craig.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Long time, Michael Olson.
Yeah. I recognize your voice in a second, though.
Yeah, I do. I go quickly because there is an issue I always kind of wondered about. Why do you suppose they don't have shuttle buses, a whole bunch of them, like going from Los Gatos to Santa Cruz? I don't think they have that, do they?
The
Highway
Santa
17
Cruz,
Express.
Yeah, Highway 17 Express goes
Bus,
over there.
I think.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, go direct from Los Gatos, make it a lot more simpler. I think the other way you have to go is, you have to go to the Alameda station or something, way out there in San Jose. But why couldn't it be that simple they want people over there in Santa Cruz, right? And nobody really likes that Highway 17.
No, it's no fun
would've
at
been
all.
Good question for the council person you had on earlier, but I don't know. I don't live there, so I don't make the decisions, but do you think it makes sense?
Well, the interesting thing about Highway 17 is that it will always keep Santa Cruz a little bit separate from the big metropolitan areas. And in that regard, kind of a little bit special by virtue of that barrier. My father-in-law was just in town, and he hates Highway 17 with a passion. And it was amazing to see him actually come over to visit us but I think that Highway 17 will always be Highway 17.
Hey, that's the end of the show, guys. Thank you, Dave and everybody. KSCO Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey, San Jose. See you next week.
Soon.
That's all, folks.
You're listening to KSCO Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey, San Jose. 12 noon.